So, this is a beautiful letter from
Yes.
old friend Jeffrey Severe. He's been in prison now for 23 years.
Right, okay.
Praise the Lord. He says,
Yes.
he wrote me this, and Veronica gave it to me last Sunday, right?
Beautiful.
It says, Dear Pastor House,
Okay.
this is a letter of acknowledgement and heartfelt thanks for the time and consideration you gave to the position of writing the Board of Parole on my behalf.
Okay.
Your letter carried a lot of weight and factored into their decision to find me suitable for parole.
All right. All right.
That's after 23 years.
23 years.
God is great and greatly to be praised.
That's wonderful.
He has saw me through 23 years
Yes.
of incarceration.
Yes.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for. In anticipation of my release to occur no later than October 2020.
All right.
I eagerly look
Amen.
forward to attending your church with my sister Veronica.
All right.
Graciously thanking the Lord for what he has done and my new beginning.
Beautiful.
Thank you again for your support and consideration of my spiritual well-being. You are blessed by the best. Have a rewarding day. God bless you. Sincerely, Jeff Samir.
All right. All right. That's
You
wonderful.
never know what you can do
You're right, Pastor.
until you do it. We didn't even know if we was going to get it there on time.
That's right. I remember that, Pastor. Yeah.
But we rushed it,
We rushed it.
and it got there,
God put a rush
and
on
it
it.
must have got there right on time.
Must have.
God may not come when you want to. He may not come when you want him. But he's always
It's on time.
right on time. Jesus
Yes.
never fails.
Yes, Lord.
Jesus, he never fails. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but Jesus, he never fails. In sickness, he never never We thank God, amen. But this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Thank you, Jesus.
Praise the Lord.
It's gonna come, Pastor.
Thank you, Lord. I just need
Yes, sir.
The top open. It's hard without the mic stand. I don't use a mic stand. So I like to have it where I can reach down with one hand.
There you
Praise the Lord. All right. Well, open your Bibles, y'all.
go. Yes, Jesus. Bless your word. Bless the pastor today, Jesus.
You know, the Bible
Yes, Jesus.
is relative for the time in which we live.
Yes.
And it's the preacher's job
Yes, sir.
to bring these old scriptures to life
Yes.
and to explain it in a way where we can understand it today. For today, thousands of years ago, especially the Old Testament was written,
Thank you, God.
and the book is relative
Yes.
to the time in which we live,
Yes, sir.
because Jesus is relative to the time in which we live.
Yes, sir.
In 1950, the preacher preached Jesus
Uh-huh.
in the 1950s kind of way.
Right.
In the 60s, the preachers preached Jesus in a 1960 kind of way.
Uh-huh. Yes.
In the 80s, the preachers preached Jesus in the 80s kind
All
of
right.
way. And the 90s in the 90s kind of way. Well, now we're in 2020.
All right.
So a 1980 Jesus don't fit today.
Right.
The 1965, 1968 Jesus doesn't fit today.
Yes.
Time doesn't limit him.
Mm.
Age can't time him,
Mm-hmm.
and time can't limit him.
Mm.
He lives outside of time. Time was never made for God. Time was made for us.
That's right.
So he is who he is, Yeshua Messiah.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Jesus the Christ.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen.
Bless
So,
him, Lord.
in the book of Isaiah,
All right.
the eagle-eyed prophet,
Mm-hmm.
it won't be long. You give me about 20 minutes or less.
You're doing good,
Praise
Pastor.
the Lord.
Doing good.
I was reading here. I found some things that were so pertinent to today
Okay.
that I just had to bring this up.
That's all right. Bring it up, Pastor.
In the time in 2020,
Okay.
in 2020, this relates to us definitely.
Yes, sir.
Now, 400 years, Israel was in Egypt. For not the whole 400, they were slaves, but when they arose a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph,
Yes.
slavery began, and it got worse and worse and worse
Mm-hmm.
until God sent Moses.
Yes.
400 years in a strange land. And then there's 400 years between the Old Testament and the New Testament. 400 years of silence
Uh-huh.
when God did not speak or deal with mankind at all
Right.
for 400 years.
All right.
But after the 400, he sent John the Baptist
All right. Yes. All right.
and Jesus
Ah.
for the blessing to come.
Mm-hmm.
After 400 years in Egypt, he sent Moses
Yes.
to deliver the people.
Correct.
After 400 years of silence, Jesus comes on the scene.
All right now.
And I've spoken before about it because the Jesus I know is not the Jesus that a lot of people teach.
Well.
The Jesus I know was a revolutionary. He was a protester.
Yes.
He came against the government
Right.
all of the time.
Mm.
His disciples was wanted.
Mm.
He was wanted.
Okay.
Many were killed.
Yes.
Many were jailed.
Uh-huh.
And on and on and on and on.
Yes.
So, after 400 years of God's silence, During that time, man created all his own kind of governments, the way he wanted it and the way he wanted it to be, until Jesus came.
Yes.
Jesus came and looked and seen what man had created and how man was worshiping God, so-called, and how man saw God and the things that they did. They were so religious. They would stone you for any little thing.
Right.
It was a death penalty.
Yes, sir.
All kinds of different rules and regulations. So when Jesus stepped on the scene, he said, "What's up with this?
Okay.
Things have got to change."
You better say that. Come on, preacher.
So I've come.
Yes.
It's not me that doeth the work.
Yes, sir. That's what Jesus said.
He said,
Come on.
"It's the Father that dwelleth in me."
Come on now with the word. Yes.
So God was not pleased with the governments of the world.
Say that. Say that.
Jesus debated with them and called them vipers.
Yes, he did.
He called them snakes.
Uh-huh.
He called them dogs.
Right.
He told them they were of their father, the devil.
That's what he said.
And all the time they got worse and madder and mad. They just got so mad that they wanted to kill him all the time.
Yeah, they did.
But the Bible said Jesus would just pass through the mist.
Uh-huh.
And they couldn't catch him. They couldn't get him.
No.
They put a hit out on him.
Yeah.
They put a hit out on Paul.
Say that.
Because Paul was doing the same thing that Jesus was doing.
Come on, preacher.
Everywhere Paul went, he turned the cities upside down.
Yes.
And the governments of those cities were looking for him, trying to get him.
My
Oh,
God.
help me, Holy
God
Ghost.
bless that.
So 400 years
Yes.
in Egypt, and then Moses. 400 years of silence,
Uh-huh.
then Jesus.
Yes.
Now, black people have been here 400 years
My Lord.
in captivity
All right.
in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Now, we can talk about the true Israelites.
All right.
Well, not because there's a lot to it. The Bible said they that call themselves Jews
Uh-oh.
are not.
Well.
Oh,
Uh-oh. All right.
and they serve the synagogue of Satan.
Jesus.
Now that's the scripture. Of course, I'm not anti-Semitic.
No, no, no.
We love all people.
Amen, Pastor. That's right. Amen.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what the Bible says.
Right.
I'm saying there's more to it than meets the eye.
Right.
There's more to it than what's on the news.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the true Israelites.
There it is.
So now, 400 years we've been in America. For 200 slavery, another 100 Jim Crow, and another 100 systematic racism.
Jesus.
Having rights without equality.
Uh-oh.
There's no rights at all.
That's right.
So really it's been 400 years of slavery still.
See.
I looked up slavery, and slavery has a lot of different meanings. And really, we've been in slavery. We're in slavery now.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We are slaves now. Do you know how many real slaves are in America right now? I looked it up and looked at it. It's about 40 million
Lord have mercy.
slaves in America. I mean, true slave to the true word slavery
My God.
in America. 40 million.
Wow.
Because there's all kinds of slaves. Sex slaves,
See.
sex trade,
Right.
the hotel trade,
Uh-oh. God.
who makes your bed, the prison system,
Right. I got you, Pastor.
and we can go on and on and on and on. Slavery.
Right.
You work, but you don't have enough to pay your bill.
Well, sir, now you better talk real good.
You work, and at the end of the month, you still owe money.
Now you better talk real good.
That's what slavery is.
See.
You work, and still can't really go nowhere.
See.
You working just to stay alive.
Right.
If that ain't slavery, I don't know what is. We're working just to stay alive. Oh, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So now I believe God is fixing to do something again.
Yeah.
Because there's 400 in Egypt. There's 400 of God being silent, and then Jesus. Now there's 400 of us being in this country and being as slaves. I believe God is doing something. So I thought about it. So I went 3 times 4. is 12.
That's right.
400, 400, 400 equals 1,200.
That's right.
Now 1,200 is an important number with God.
All right, Pastor.
The number 12. 12 tribes of Israel.
Glory. Hallelujah.
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 12 apostles.
Yes, sir.
12 foundations in heaven.
Yes.
12 months in the year.
All right. All right.
A jury of 12.
Okay.
12 is a very, very important number.
Yes.
Now, I'm not into numerology. I'm into Jesus.
Okay.
Theology. But certain things you got to take a look at.
Yes.
4, 3 times 4 is 12.
Right.
And 12 is a number, a very important number,
Yes.
period.
All right.
So I believe this 12, this 1,200 is just like the 12 tribes of Israel.
Come on with it, Pastor. Yes, sir.
It's just like the 12 apostles, like the 12 foundations.
Come on.
12 is a number of completion.
Yes. Yes.
And 12 along with 7, but 12 also represents perfection.
Glory to God.
Meaning that God's time has come.
All right now, come on with that.
That God has something going on
Yes.
when he gets 12 together. And God has got 12 together. So now, in that thought, in that vein, I only got 10 minutes.
Yes.
I'd like to look at some scripture.
Yes, give us some scripture. Read that.
So let's look at Isaiah, chapter number 1.
Well.
Now, Israel have been messing up,
Right.
like they always have.
Right.
And the tribes have been separated.
Yes.
The north Israel, the north went to the north, and they're the northern tribes. Judah went to the south with the brother Benjamin.
Yes.
That was under Solomon and Rehoboam and Jeroboam,
Right.
Solomon's son, that went crazy and split everything up. So the Assyrians had already attacked the northern tribes,
All right.
and they had decimated them and scattered Israel.
Right.
Israel was scattered. That's why, who is Israel? If Israel that we know of Israel is a part of Israel. It's Judah.
Judah. Yeah.
It's Benjamin. Possibly. But then there's 12 tribes that nobody knows where they are.
Okay.
Because God scattered them all around the world.
Yes.
I wonder who he talking about. I wonder who he talking about the 12, the 10 tribes.
Yes.
So now the Assyrians are the ones doing all this. So now the Syrians, after they conquer the northern tribes, the 10 tribes, they turn their attention to Judah. Judah was prosperous. Judah was doing good. So as they turn to Judah, now they're coming from the north down to get Judah. They want to conquer Judah now. But Judah has to make a last stand because they're the last people of God.
Yes.
So what Judah does, it makes an agreement with Egypt, who God had brought them out of.
All right.
But because Judah figured they needed some help,
Okay.
they went to the government
My God.
of Egypt
Say.
to line up their forces. So Egypt would agree to fight with them against the Assyrians.
All right.
Well, the problem is, where's God?
Okay. Amen.
Why do you need Egypt if you've got God?
Okay. Right. There you
So with that, let's go to verse
go. I
1.
know that's right. All right, Pastor. Break it down.
Woe to the rebellion children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me.
Lord have mercy.
And that cover with coverings, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Ooh, Jesus. Lord.
They take counsel, but not with me.
See.
Sometimes you gotta watch out, always trying to get the government to give you something.
Oh, Lord. That's what.
Taking counsel with the government. Look, if the government giving out something free, take it.
Okay.
But don't depend on it.
Uh-oh. There it is right there.
Don't make an agreement with them that they're supposed to sustain you and you look to them. Especially when you've been saved and sanctified.
Yeah. Woo-hoo!
You don't look to nobody but God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nobody but Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
He said, so now, he said, when you do that, he said, you're adding sin on top of sin.
My God.
You already sinned because you did not call on me for help as your God.
Right.
That's a sin right there.
See?
You're supposed to be my people, but you don't recognize who I am and the power that I have.
Yes.
So by you calling somebody else, and first of all, for not calling on me, that's one sin.
Right.
He said, but then you make it worse because you call on another nation.
Yes.
That's adding sin
To sin.
to sin. Is that what your Bible says? Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Is that what your Bible says?
All right, we got it now, Pastor. Got it. Bless you.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse number 1.
Uh-huh. Got you. That's what
Woe
it
to the rebellious children,
That's what the Bible
saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering,
Yeah.
but not of my spirit,
See? Ooh, wait.
that they may add sin
Woo.
to sin.
My God, that's deep.
Woo, God is not
My
pleased.
God.
He calls them rebellious.
That's what he said.
He said they want to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
My God.
Say you rather make an agreement with Pharaoh before you call on me.
Jesus.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. Anytime you're looking for the government to take care of you, the government will be your shame.
My God.
And the trust of the shadow of Egypt will be your confusion. Anytime you're looking for the government and not looking toward God, amen, you will be confused and ashamed.
My God.
I'm talking about as relative
Yes, it
to
is.
the time in which we live.
Yeah.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Wow.
For his princes were at Zion, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be a help nor profit, but a shame,
Wow.
and also a reproach. What you're looking to get out of it, God said you're not going to get.
See?
It's going to be a shame to you, and it's going to lower who you are.
Jesus.
Anytime you start depending on other folk
Uh-oh.
to take care of you,
Well, sir.
you're going to be confused and ashamed.
My God.
Anytime you've already been to the water,
Hey!
already been baptized,
Say.
already been converted,
My God.
and God is your God,
You know.
and then you turn to the government,
My
or
God.
you turn to other people
Jesus.
to fix the problems and the situations that you may have,
You know.
you're going to be in trouble,
Well.
you're going to be confused, and you're going to be ashamed,
You know.
because they will shame you. Egypt shamed Judah. Egypt confused Judah. They were all ashamed at the people, and it did not profit them. I don't care what the government is giving out. Nobody can do me like Jesus. And nobody can do me like Jesus. He said the burden of the beast of the south into the land of trouble and anguish. as I close.
Preaching Hauser. Lord,
And then the Lord give you the bread of adversaries
look at that.
and the water of affliction.
Look at, wow. That's
Sometimes you hook yourself up with the wrong people.
You better talk now. You talking
And
real
you
good.
think
That
they're going to
part.
bless you.
That part.
The problem is you're a child of God.
Say that, Pastor.
And when you look to others,
No, don't look to others.
instead of looking to him,
See.
he going to mess it all up.
Ooh-wee.
That's why most people that ever told you they was going to help you never did.
Uh-oh. Now you better talk. Now that part. That part.
Had you standing on the corner waiting for them to come back with your money.
Woo.
You waited 15 minutes,
My God, my
a
God.
half hour,
Uh-huh.
an hour,
Okay.
2 hours,
Right.
and they ain't came back yet.
Thanks for that.
And you still waiting
Right.
like a sucker. God don't want you to be a sucker.
Say that, Pastor.
God wants you to be sucker free.
Say that.
I said God wants you to be sucker free.
Say that again.
Don't let the government sucker you.
I know that's right, Pastor.
Don't make allegiance with the government.
I know that's right, Pastor.
Make your allegiance strong with God.
Yeah.
Verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversaries and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. Thine eyes shall see your teachers.
Wow.
God's going to raise up teachers.
Yeah.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah.
When you turn to the right hand, and when you turn to the left, ye shall defile also the coverings of thy graven image. But let's deal with 21. And thine ears shall hear a word from behind. Say your teachers are going to rise up and teach you. And you're going to hear a word, not in front of you, behind you.
All right.
God is trying to straighten you out because you went astray.
Yes.
You know what it is when God is behind you?
Talk about it. Tell it, Pastor.
It means you're leading yourself.
Oh, Lord. I don't want to leave myself.
I'm going to say it again. You know what it is when God speaks from behind you,
No.
telling you to watch out, straighten up.
Yeah.
That means he's not leading you.
Right. Right.
He's behind you.
Right.
It means you're leading yourself. And God said, I'll give you teachers that will teach you.
Jesus.
That's the time in which we're in.
Yes, sir, Pastor. That's
You
right.
shall defile also the covering of thy graven images, the silver, the ornaments of thy molten images of the gold, and thou shalt cast them away as you know, the men above, the men,
Well,
you know, the one time of the month,
Right. We got you, Pastor.
cloth.
Right.
Thou shalt say, give thee hints.
That's what the Bible says.
Then shall he give the rain for thy seed. In other words, what he's saying, when you hear the voice from behind, and you hear the teacher teach truth,
Yes,
he
Jesus.
said you're going to go home and tear down all the idols that are in your house that you put there.
Oh,
And you're going to throw them away like a woman throw away
Yeah.
her period cloth.
oh. Right. That's what the Bible says.
You're going to throw all those gods that you were worshiping.
That's what it says here.
He said, then you can plant seed. He said, and I will water it.
Yeah.
I gotta quit.
Well,
But I hope you get something up out of this. I really do.
yes, sir, Pastor. That's
I hope you get something.
I got you.
Those that have ears, 12 months of the year.
Yes.
12 juries on the jury.
My God, my God.
3 times 4
Yes.
is 12.
That's what it is.
Perfection, completion.
Yes.
Things are about to happen. Can you hear God?
Yes. Yes. I hear it, preacher. I hear God.
Most of the church is not here,
Right.
which is supposed to be that way.
Right.
But I'm talking to all of them because we got video going.
Right.
And other people who may watch the video,
Yes.
YouTube or wherever, Facebook.
Yes.
Do you hear a voice behind you?
Jesus. That's the question.
Because if you hear the voice behind you, it means you believe in yourself.
Ah.
The point is to hear the voice. If it's in front of you or if it's behind you. God wants you to hear his voice and let you know things are about to change.
Come on now, praise God.
Things are about to turn in your favor.
Come on.
Somebody shout, something long enough. I've been around this mountain all night. Turn around. Just like Rose. James Brown said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing.
Okay.
Open up the door
Open up the door.
and I'll give it
I
myself.
know that's
I
right.
don't want nobody
Yes.
to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll give it myself. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. Black people,
All right now.
all we need is a door open.
You're right.
We don't need a handout.
No, sir. No,
And
sir.
you can't keep asking to open the door.
Say that, Pastor.
There comes a time when you got to kick it down.
Say that. Say that.
You can't give me equality. I'm already equal.
Say it, then, preacher.
The government just don't see it.
Right.
But you're already equal.
Come on with that. I know
Nobody make you equal. You're a man. You're a woman. Look, you're a man or a woman before you're a black man.
Right.
And before you're a black woman. You're a man first.
Right.
You're a woman first.
Yeah.
Respect that. And sometimes you gotta make people
Jesus.
respect you.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about going there,
No.
but I am in a way.
All right.
We had an old saying in the Panther Party, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
I have to adapt that now and change that because I'm with Christ.
Right.
So I can only use what God allows me to use.
That's right, Pastor.
We can only use what God allows us to use.
Right.
But please, keep your eyes on Jesus,
I know that's
Yeshua Messiah. God bless you in Jesus' name.